Orders had been dispatched to allow the Morehdel safe passage home as long as they kept moving. The kingdom forces in the Dimwood were now dispersing to their various garrisons, the majority returning to the west, and some heading back north to the border baronies. They would start moving later in the morning. The previously secret garrison north of Sethenon would be moved to another location and re-provisioned. Sunlight began to bathe Arutha as the morning mist burned off, leaving only the smoke and dust to cloud the air. The day was already growing hot, and the cold of the previous winter was fading from memory. Arutha kept his distress deep inside, as he considered the latest assault upon the tranquility of his kingdom. Arutha had taken the Sorani magicians at face value after the end of the Riftwar. For nearly 10 years they had been free to come and go between worlds, via several magic rifts. And now he felt a profound sense of betrayal. He fully understood the rationale that had driven Makala, a Sorani Great One, to attempt to seize the Lifestone at Sethenon. The belief that the kingdom possessed a great weapon of destruction, some engine of power that would give predominance in war to whoever held it. Had he been in Makala's place, with the same suspicions, he might have acted in the same way. But even so, he could not trust the Sorani to be loose in the kingdom, and that meant an end to almost a decade of trade and exchange. Arutha pushed aside worry as to how he would affect the changes he must make, but he knew that eventually he'd have to sit down with his advisers and fashion a plan that would ensure future security for the kingdom. And he knew almost no one would be pleased at the changes he would make. Arutha glanced to his right and saw 2 very fatigued young men sitting astride their horses. He permitted himself one of his infrequent smiles, a bare upturning of the sides of his mouth, which served to soften the often sombre expression on his still youthful face. "Tired, gentlemen?" he asked. James, senior squire to the prince, returned his ruler's gaze from eyes surrounded by dark circles. James and his companion Squire Locklear had ridden a punishing ride, abetted by magic herbs which had kept them awake and alert for days in the saddle. The after-effects of the prolonged use of the draught was to unleash all the pent-up fatigue and body ache on the young men at once. Both had slept through the night upon cushions in Arutha's tent, but had awakened tired and bone-weary. Summoning up his usual brazen wit, James said, "No, sir, we always look like this when we wake. Usually you don't see us until after our morning coffee." Arutha laughed. "I see none of your charms have faded, Squire." A short man with dark hair and beard walked over to where the prince and his companions sat astride their horses. "Good morning, Highness," said Pug as he bowed. Arutha returned a polite nod and said, "Pug, do you return to Krondor with us?" Pug's expression revealed concern. "Not straight away, Highness. There are matters I must investigate at Stardock. The activities of the Sorani Great Ones involved with this last attempt at Sethenon caused me great concern. I need to ensure that they were the only magicians involved, and that those who still reside at my academy are free of any guilt." Arutha looked at the retreating wagons again as he said, "We do need to talk about the role played by the Sorani in your academy, Pug. But not here." Pug nodded agreement. Even though everyone within earshot was privy to the secret of the Lifestone which sat beneath the city of Sethenon, it was wise to talk only in private. And Pug also knew that Arutha had grave concerns about the betrayal by the Sorani magician Makala, which had led to this last battle between the prince's army and